There were a couple of things that I had to dig a little deeper on, so I want to conclude my ArduPilot mini Talon setup with two other points. On the optional hardware telemetry radios, you set the COM port for your platform 57600. You do not connect to the platform. You can click load settings, or you can plug one of these telemetry radios into your computer just straight USB, like you do when you're going to use it as a ground station. This will tell you things about your radio. Let me power up. I'm actually just using a radio on God, the computer right now, instead of having my radio in my airplane powered up. So I'm going to go ahead there and power up the one in the plane and show you what happens here when you click load settings with a radio connected USB on your computer and a radio in your platform powered up. When you say load settings, well, watch that darn thing make me out a liar. It will frequently show you the settings on the other side. It didn't this time. Maybe if I go into the COM port that's actually the plane, it'll do it backwards. We'll see. Yeah, that's not going to work. So the most important thing here is that when you come in here and you configure your telemetry radio, this button right here is one of the most important ones there is, because my model is powered up right now. By the way, I did turn something on when I was playing with this last night. I turned on error correction. I'm going to turn off error correction. It's on in the radio in my model. So when I say copy required to remote right here, it's going to copy all this information to the radio in the mini Talon over here, and it's going to fix this bit again. And it says done over here, so that has been fixed. Also right here, you flash your radios. Connect them to USB, click upload firmware local right here. I got in those Hollybro telemetry radios, 4 of them. The first thing I did was connect them to my computer with a USB cable and program the firmware into them exactly like this. You can never tell what was programmed into them for sure at the factory. Can't tell what version. You sort of can if you read it up here. But just to be for sure, I go ahead when I get new ones in the door and go ahead and program them in. That's all I think I need to say about telemetry radios. I'm torn on whether I should broach this next subject or not, but I'm going to. I said I wouldn't, but I am. Whoops. You remember in right here I had the problem with ESC calibration. Can't click. When I click calibrate ESCs, I get this error message. I've searched for an hour or so for this error and fix. I found the problem duplicated. I found it discussed, but I haven't found it solved. So I figured I could just come in here and tell it I've got a normal type ESC, but none of this is clickable. Only thing clickable here is the calibrate ESC, and it gives me an error. So you can try this. It seems to have worked for me. I don't recommend this. This is not a professional telling you the steps to do. This is just an old electronics technician telling you, well, I did it this way. I actually did come in here to servo output, and I set throttle to RC pass-through. I powered down the platform. I turned on my RC receiver, put the throttle high, powered up the platform. The ESC did its beeps and seems to have successfully calibrated. After that, I powered it back down, came back in here and reset that parameter to throttle. My feeling was the throttle does work. It might not be totally properly calibrated, but it isn't calibrated in a fashion that is going to cause it not to fly. It might cause it not to be able to fly. Now that's two different things. Not to fly would mean it won't turn, but it might not turn fast enough and be able to fly. But if it gets in the air and my high throttle, fastest it could go, is not calibrated correctly, I might not get full RPMs out of the model, but I'll be burning less amps. Whatever my full throttle is, if it's not calibrated as high as it could be, at full throttle, if I'm pulling 20 amps, if it was calibrated properly at full throttle, I might be pulling 22 amps and going 6 miles an hour faster. I don't know. My thinking was, well, if it turns enough to push the model around on the table on the stand, it's probably going to push it enough to fly. As long as it flies above stall level, I can handle that. If it flies up to the speed I want to go and still has throttle above that and can go faster, then I've got something that's workable. So that's what I did. I can't really tell you to do it. You can try it. I will keep searching the internet for the true solution to that problem from somebody who's a professional that can actually tell you. And if anybody knows the answer to that ESC calibration problem, please let me know. Now, I sort of got it working before I did that pass-through. I mean, you saw it. I just did that pass-through a few minutes ago, and you saw it in the past few days pushing itself around on the bench. Past 4 days or so. I'm just putting this in there. I've had a couple of people that have had escape calibration problems. If you go out and look for that error, you'll find all sorts of people having it. If you can find a solution to the problem, please let me know. This is my workaround, my personal workaround. This is not ArduPilot's workaround. This is not Hobby King, any company's workaround. This is my personal workaround that I'm going to try because I want to fly. You can try it. It may work for you. It may not work for you. It may do damage. It may not. I don't see how it can actually do damage, but what I'm trying to tell you is this is just my personal way that I got past the problem. I don't think it's brilliant. I don't think it's terrible. And I'm going to fly it and see if it works for me. It may work for you. And with that, I will conclude my overview of setting up ArduPlane 4.1.0 on the mini Talon. And next, I'm going to turn around and set it up on iNav, which has been my plan all along. Again, thank you guys so much.